What if you could make your brain act like a supercomputer that churns out perfect decisions flawlessly? Just imagine your life trajectory if you took the optimal path with each of those little micro decisions you get faced with throughout the day. Today, you will learn about the 3-step decision-making system, which enables you to do exactly that. The information you will receive in this video is extremely powerful, so you should not just treat it as another piece of content. I can promise you that your future self will not regret having watched this video attentively. Did you know that there are 2 modes of thinking and thus deciding? On one hand, there is the intuitive and automatic mode of thinking that is fast and effortless. Imagine you're walking down the street and you approach a crosswalk. You glance at the traffic light and see that it has just turned red for cars. Without consciously analyzing traffic patterns or calculating precise timing, you quickly decide to cross the street. On the other hand, there is the conscious, logical, and deliberate mode of thinking, which is slow and more effortful. Here, one example could be the decision of which phone you want to buy. You carefully weigh the options and analyze the pros and cons of all the devices. The problem is that we tend to over-index on the conscious mode of thinking. This slows us down, increases our stress, and decreases our performance. The key to turn your brain into a supercomputer dedicated to solve your problems is to tap into the intuitive mode of thinking that writers commonly get when they are in a flow state. Suddenly, everything clicks and it's like the text is writing itself. What if I told you that there is a way to acquire this high-level intuitive decision-making even outside actually being in a flow state? To be clear, I will not tell you to randomly make gut decisions. The process I will show you will require preparations and diligence, but as a result, you will be able to harness subconscious processing. The first step of the framework is to give your subconscious a target. Your decisions are only as good as how precisely you are able to identify the problem. A good way to go about it is to separate the symptom from the problem. To illustrate, imagine you are a football player and miss a lot of chances. The perceived problem could be something like, how do I shoot better? However, the real problem you want to solve is how to bring more value to your team. Now, there are a lot more possible solutions than before. Instead of improving your shooting, you could switch positions somewhere you do not need to shoot often. Once you have identified the problem, you need to formulate a question that you can feed your subconscious. In my previous example, that could be, what are the most effective ways to increase my value in the team? By posing that question, you activate your adaptive subconscious, your brain's rapid response unit. But let's go a step further in leveraging the processing power of your subconscious. Write down the question you have formulated. Writing activates the reticular activating system, a bundle of neurons in your brainstem. They are responsible for prioritizing the information you need to pay attention to. By writing down your question, you are effectively telling your brain to allocate more mental resources to answering it. The next step to leveraging the processing power of your subconscious is the incubation process itself. To let your subconscious take over, you need to stay away from the problem and do other things. Instead of pounding away at a problem, go take a shower. When you engage in lightly stimulating activities, your conscious mind is occupied with the easy task. This lays the groundwork for transient hyperfrontality, where your adaptive subconscious runs high-level simulations at astronomical speeds. The amount of time your subconscious needs depends on the problem and can range from minutes to weeks. If you need the question answered immediately, do something like going for a walk. What does not work is something like gaming or watching Netflix. These activities require too much mental processing to do the trick. The last stage of the framework is to sit back down and to start writing down answers to the questions you had posed earlier. Usually a minute or 2 after starting to write, the decision will just come to you. This framework leverages all the neurobiological power of the subconscious to fuel your decision-making. So make sure to save the video. Also consider subscribing for more scientific ways to improve yourself.